Okay, hi guys. I'm going to start with a disclaimer. Here we're just sharing knowledge and yeah, talking about cyber. So that's my disclaimer. There is like a lot of text, so if anyone wants to read it, then go ahead. About me, I'm a penetration tester, certified in as a cover access specialist, physical auditor, citation specialist. I mention those ones every time because I'm really proud of those. So that's why I have it here. Wonder Woman in Cyber because of my picture on LinkedIn, but I'm going to rebrand it soon in the woman in the red dress. So yeah, because the trademark kind of worries me there. But also like share learning motivational content on LinkedIn, Twitch, and YouTube. And why am I here to do better at public speaking and presenting? I'm a keynote speaker on conferences, so I just want to be better at it and like not be stressed with people watching me and listening to me. Okay, so share my knowledge and to learn, expand my horizon, but mostly to highlight people that are important in cybersecurity, that are important to me, and yeah, actually people that are pretty cool and I like so, or I met and I was impressed by them. So that's why I invited all kinds of people here. And so today I have here Andrada son, and she's a headhunter looking for helping people in cyber get a nice job. So yeah, welcome Andrada.
Hello, and nice to see you, and thank you for inviting me.
Can you tell me about yourself?
Sure. Yeah, and once more, thank you for inviting me and adding me to the category of people that had an impact on you in a way or another. As you said, my name is Andrada. I work as a headhunter, or as my good friend Mitch told me once, I'm a headhuntress. Um, I've been doing this for the past 8 years, and then the past 7 years, focusing exclusively on the cybersecurity industry, where I both try to not necessarily specialize as such, but know as much as possible, so I can be able to both excuse me, both chat with you guys, but as well as maybe better guide you in your career afterwards, and also helping customers in getting the right people for their teams. I am a co-owner and partner in something called the Trasho and Son, a Copenhagen-based company. That is both doing the recruitment part, but obviously due to the scarce resources on the market, we slowly entered the education first with offerings within the leadership area and people that work with cyber and lack the communication skills towards top management and other stakeholders, and we try to help them with that. Afterwards, we've also built together with an amazing person in Denmark, and not only within the OT security space, we are offering both beginner courses and advanced courses within OT security, and then the list goes on, and that can be obviously seen and on our LinkedIn profile and also website. Originally from Romania, currently living in Denmark, and being a proud organizer of or co-organizer of events as within the OWASP environment, as well as besides Copenhagen. So yeah.
I'm taking notes because the OT security courses was like neuron activation. Yeah, I got interested there.
Yes, and Mikhail is one of the greatest previous sense instructor, and now obviously building his own OT security education offerings, and it's something called ICS Range.
That's really cool.
Yes.
Okay, I have the next question. What makes Andrada smile? What brings you joy?
Well, a lot of, even though you see me smile a lot right now, obviously this is one of the things that makes me smile. Not necessarily the public speaking one a part of it, but the knowledge sharing and being within the community. So definitely, yeah, knowledge sharing and community, and the occasional nerding from time to time definitely makes me smile. But if you ask my friends, I never smile because I'm Romanian and Romanians don't smile.
I think, yeah, the world thinks the same about Polish, and that's actually there was like a meme with a picture. The passport office shared like a picture of like neutral face, and there was a meme with like that with from that passport thing, like when you're smiling, it's not allowed like on the streets, but it's actually for the passports. But
Yeah,
the neutral face is like yes, encouraged and like that's funny. But actually, there's like a lot of truth in that because
yeah.
yeah, I don't see a lot of Polish people smiling. So yeah, winters can
Well,
be hard.
you haven't met them in the appropriate
Yeah, yeah.
locations then.
Yeah, with the pierogies and like the pickles, like the food.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, thank you. That's a very good answer. And actually, you answered that question partially, but can you tell me more, like, what is your specialty in cybersecurity and how can others gain expertise in your specialty?
Wow. Well, being like cybersecurity is our specialty.
Yeah.
There are obviously there are recruiters within every industry, and there are many that are saying that they're like experts in cybersecurity. But to be honest, I haven't met too many in the world that actually only focus on that, both from a perspective of actually doing recruitment, but as well as the involvement with the community. So yeah, the expertise is cybersecurity in general. I would say that because disclaimer, I just come from a customer meeting. That's why I have a shirt on me. Otherwise, you would see me with a t-shirt and hoodies and more relaxed. Thus, I'm more attracted and develop my skills within the technical part of cybersecurity. And when I'm saying technical, it basically covers everything from the offensive security part, defensive security, as well as the consultancy part within that. But definitely, the technical skills within cybersecurity are my sweet spot in our team, and the other members are taking the more commercial roles or leadership roles, depending on, yeah, obviously depending on the needs of the customer, as well as what we are talking with, among others, people like you, and hearing your interests. In terms of the second part of the question regarding how people could benefit or what people can learn from my expertise, um, well, unless you want to become you are a headhunter and you want to specialize, or you want to become a headhunter, I don't think as such there is such a big correlation between my interest within the technicalities and how much technical stuff I can actually do. But definitely curiosity. I think that's one of the major things that I would say people should at least benefit from what I have been learning. And I find myself many times at different events within the community, either closed forums or big conferences, where all of a sudden I realize that I actually can talk technical stuff with people that have been doing this for ages. And I would say that what brought me here was definitely curiosity.
Yeah, actually, when you started explaining, like telling your part here, I felt like how to put that in words. And yeah, I felt like a lot of respect to you that you actually learn the technical parts and you want to, yeah, you're curious about it and you want to grow in that part as well. Because to a technical person, talking with a headhunter that has no idea what he's talking about, that's like that's the worst thing that can happen. And yeah, we are not happy people when that conversation is like, or like once I had an interview when the interviewer came and said, "Okay, okay, I didn't read your CV. Can you give me like, like a run through?" So yeah, I felt like, yeah, why am I here? So I really respect that you like put in your time and like you want to be better at it and you can actually understand what the technical people are telling you. Like, are they telling you they're like real certification or skills or maybe names of Pokemons? So you know like when they're like telling something that is not true. So yeah, that's I wanted to say like yeah.
I'm happy to hear. And well, you told me, even though I promised I might not ask you questions, you told me that if I do have questions, I should
Yeah,
ask
yeah, go
you.
ahead.
And well, you're one of them that actually has met me both as Andrada, the human being, as well as Andrada, the recruiter. So if you would be to give an advice to the people out there in terms of how to talk to you, but as well as what made you relax in the conversation with me, what was that? Like were the things that you took with you?
So yeah, I think the most like the thing that makes me most anxious is that I feel judged and like and I don't really know how the person sees me, but I think maybe I'm not doing very well. So I'm not sure why we think uh, negative things first. I think that's how the human brain is designed. But going back to your question, uh, I just felt like you understand me and you're like you're there to help me actually, and not like I don't know, use me or I don't know how to. So it's like
Mm-hmm.
the outcome of the conversation with you will be positive, whatever it will be. So I shouldn't be, worried or scared or anxious. And yeah, I really like, and you had like a very human touch to how you approached me. So you realize that I'm like nervous and like yeah, my voice were like a bit high pitched because yeah, I do get like, and this was like a very overwhelming like moment in my life as well because I was looking for a job for a while now and I was like getting a bit nervous that yeah, am I going to find something? Hmm. Yeah,
What would you yeah, what would you like if you'd be to like give an advice for at least after that meeting to other people they are going through the same situation as you in terms of either wanting to change careers or struggling finding a job in cyber and things like that. What is your advice to them? Because
yeah,
now you landed a great job, so I guess your shoulders are down and you can breathe more
yeah.
relaxed.
I've noticed for myself that I a bit resist change. So uh, if you resist change, then the change is going just to take longer, and it will be I don't know more painful maybe because it will stretch in time. But if you just go for it and like not overthink, yeah, so that would be good. That would be better actually. But for like job search, actually all of the CVs that I sent came up with a rejection. Whether that was through like they invited me to an interview and then rejected me, or didn't just ghosted me and didn't answer at all. So the job opportunities and like invitations to interviews that I actually got and got me somewhere like to I don't know next level or second interview or to actually to a job offer were from me being active on LinkedIn, being active on conferences, being a speaker, going to live trainings and meeting people there.
Mm-hmm.
So networking. not sending CVs, because then you're one of the 1,000 people, and probably AI or like some other tool goes through those CVs and looks for like buzzwords on like
Mm-hmm.
specific things that the company is looking for. But or networking, or maybe if you send a CV, then maybe reach out to the recruiter or someone from the team, someone from that company, and introduce yourself, so they know, oh, you're a real person, and like, oh, we actually like Jeff, or I think it's networking, it's connecting with people, it's
Yeah,
showing who you are as a person, and yeah. So just not don't be like scared to connect with others. Just yeah, be yourself, and I'm sure you're going to be just fine.
great.
Yeah.
And I completely agree.
Thank you. Good job, Dorota. Then. Uh, okay. So I have a question from LinkedIn, because I saw in your like a description on top of your profile that you are a cyber talent broker and talent builder. Can you explain this job to us?
Yeah. Well, the cyber talent broker one is yet again another way of saying recruiter. But that would cover both the fact that we work with full-time employment or as well as contract and freelancers. So if before it was only full-time employments, we recently also opened more the opportunities within freelancing. So that's the cyber talent broker part. Um, Also, brokering, it's kind of interesting because you really need to get to know the depths of your product or services or the people you work with, so it takes you a step further than, as you were saying, just the a CV pusher or anything like that. So we wanted to bring more awareness on that side. And the cyber talent builder part obviously refers to our education side of the company, where we build skills, or we try to help people build their skills within either security, or, as I was telling you, the other one, if you already work in security but you feel that you need faster way of getting an understanding of the business as well as how to communicate with different stakeholders, then we have that part as well. So we're trying to um, build both technical as well as as some, let's call them, soft skills.
Great answer. Okay, so I have next question. Uh, that the way I wanted to ask, but actually I just saw a question in the chat that frames it even better from a side. I will read it. What advice would you give for people that wants to improve their visibility in the point of view of a headhunter in cybersecurity? What would help them to get more points? And my question was, working as a headhuntress, what does that career look like from your end? So actually, you can answer both, but I think people will be interested, like, what can they do uh, uh, to yeah, so you notice them, yeah, like, so other hunters to have better chances to get in, the job.
Okay. You are a little bit into that to when I asked you the question. So obviously, it I would say that you shouldn't focus so much on the headhunter, because if you network, if you are active, if you actually involve yourself within the cybersecurity realm, then most probably you already getting in touch with the hiring managers, And by doing that, I'm not saying you necessarily bypass HR, talent acquisition, or recruiters, but it makes your life easier within the process if the hiring manager comes and says, I want this person to go through our hiring process. So that would be one of the things that I usually suggest people try and be proactive in your way of looking for jobs. Don't expect that things are falling from the sky, because unless it's snow, rain, or bombs, depending on where you are, um, it's not going to happen. And I have met a lot of people saying, well, I don't get jobs in cybersecurity. And I'm like, what did you do to try? Oh, well, I'm just sending CVs. That's definitely not the way to do it. So be more proactive. First of all, be honest with yourself and figure out what do you feel either trying or definitely doing. So if you know for a fact that your love is within offensive security, ethical hacking, social engineering, and so on and so forth, first of all, try to become as good as possible, but as well, look into what companies are out there, what communities are out there, gathering those type of people, having those type of people hired, and try to connect with those people. Make them aware that you exist, and that would be definitely one of the first steps that I would say. And the other one, more, let's call it practical one, obviously is having a good CV, being very active on LinkedIn, and definitely try to build your LinkedIn as strong as possible from a point of view of it's not only human beings that are reading and your profile. And for us to actually get to you, we need LinkedIn's brain to find you. So when we use keywords in our searches, that brings us to you. So the more of the keywords that you have on your profile from what you want to do, the better the chances that you will come in front of whatever search is being done. And I'm not talking only about using the different areas of LinkedIn in terms of writing, um, again, the different keywords, as well as try to write articles, like proper posts that are actually giving something away from your expertise. I'm not saying you should, give the key to your castle to anyone, but um as like one of the reasons why I really really like you, Dorota, is that even though you were struggling and you were nervous and you were having all those thoughts about that period of you looking for a job, you did decide to, among other things, start speaking and start this channel. So I'm not saying everyone should start a podcast, or any channels as such, because even though kind of this is what happens lately, but to increase your presence within, regardless of it being talent acquisition, recruiters, HR, or hiring manager, start showing somehow that you have the knowledge that you say you have.
Uh, Thank you, and for your nice words as well. I have another question from the chat. What would it take to get an entry cyber job in Denmark? Do you have any advice?
Wow. Proactivity, being proactive in any way you can. Try to map what companies are actually having either graduate programs, internships, student entry level jobs. connect with people within the team, as well as the hiring manager. Make sure that you, when you reach out to the company, if it's not people working with cybersecurity, and it's more the HR team or the talent acquisition team, unless it's a cyber only company, don't expect people to actually know what you're writing in your CV. So make sure you don't quite have many abbreviation or shortcuts in terms of like um, explaining the different things. Um, Try to think that they actually don't know either you as a person or you as an experience, like as whatever, okay, you're not going to have experience because it's an entry level job, but one of the things that is off-putting for both hiring manager as well as HR people is seeing applications, cover letters, CVs, or even mails from people saying, I want to do everything. Yeah, but one, maybe we don't do everything. Two, what is everything? Three, you can't do everything. So be very well aware of what you want to try first, and just go with that. If in time you actually realize that, well, this wasn't for me, you can always pivot. But if you go to a meeting, if you talk to HR, if you and even hiring managers, be very let's call it concise or concrete in what you want to do, because you need to help them help you. And if they don't understand you, and again, going back to HR and TA and and other recruiters, many are like, oh yeah, they are, talking badly about that, and I understand to a certain extent why. But on the other hand, imagine that at least internally in a company that is not only cyber, a recruiter, an HR partner, a talent acquisition, they do recruitment within the whole organization. So not only focused on cyber, which means that they do not have the skills to understand you. So you need to be helpful towards them so they can help you with your entry level job. And I'm not talking only Denmark. I think it's a matter of wherever in the world you are, definitely do that.
Yeah, actually, I remember when I first wanted to go into cyber, I did my own research on how to do it, like what certifications do I need. I was looking through job postings to see, like, yeah, what skills do they need, what is, like, yeah, what skill or like certification or like what do they want actually, how does that, yeah, how to prepare actually from the job postings. But my first job interview, or when already after doing all the research, I knew exactly who I wanted to be. And I told them I want to be a penetration tester, and I was like very determined to be one. And they saw like I really have the passion and drive, and like I already know what I want to do. So she wrote like the recruitment agent like on the side of the paper, like, oh, penetration tester. Turns out they didn't have technical people there, and like couldn't offer me actually that job, but they hired me because they saw like I really wanted to learn, and like, yeah, I'm determined to be that one person. So okay.
Mm, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Be passionate, show your passion about it, but also make sure that you know what you want, or at least what you think it could be a nice first start.
So I actually, when you were saying talking, I was writing new questions. So now I have, should you change your CV to fit the job offer? What do you think?
I always suggest people that are coming to me and asking me for career coaching and helping with that. I always suggest to them that make a CV that has everything, and then adapt that to the job offering. So the short answer to your question is yes, adapt your CV to the job offering if you have what to adapt. Don't undersell, don't oversell, just be realistic about that. But obviously it's very important that And I'm not saying you should cut everything off from the overall CV, but just make sure that you um, bring more into focus the relevant skills that are being looked for in the job offering, while still mentioning very shortly the other things that would still bring a plus to you, because you have it as an experience and you never know when that company will need that. Or maybe even the company doesn't know that they need that, and when they read it, they're like, oh, okay, you can also do this. Great.
Excellent. So yeah, I have so many questions. I don't know now from the chat and like my own. So I will start with my own and then continue with the chat. So my question was like because I'm curious, you started talking about keywords. So which keyword is more popular, penetration tester, offensive specialist, or red teamer? I think penetration tester, but maybe you see it differently.
Hacker.
Hacker.
I think hacking, and everything that has to do with that. If you're from the community, then offensive security, red teamer are terms that everyone will know or have an idea about. There, if you're not, then it's kind of an unknown realm, and um, people without the proper security skills will not know what exactly are you talking about, but everyone knows hacker.
Yeah, fair point, because I was like very like cyber, you know. So I forgot that other people might not know. Actually, I get some questions like, You're a penetration tester? What does that mean?" And like, yeah, what are you testing exactly?
Yeah, exactly. And just remember that a lot of the people that you get in contact with when you're in a hiring process are not from the cyber industry, so they don't speak our language.
That's a good point. Okay, question from the chat, and I actually saw an example of that last year of a person that was looking for a job, and he is a DEF CON speaker, and he had a difficulty of finding one because people saw him as an influencer, and yeah, felt like, oh, maybe he's not a good hire. But the question from the chat is, and been too much exposed on social network talks, followers, post visibility. Can that have a bad impact for companies? I've seen that sometimes, and I wanted to see if this is something you see more or less, or is the contrary, it's beneficial? Thank you. That's a very long question, but actually, the question is about like being active on LinkedIn, being an influencer on, I don't know, social media. Do companies see you as a good hire or like someone that is a diva or like we don't want that person? What do you think?
Depending on what, first of all, depending on what you're saying, and the feedback that you're actually getting from the
Yeah, yeah,
community. Um, on the other hand, it depends also a lot about the company that we're talking about, because obviously, if you are the police or the
yeah, yeah.
defense or companies working within critical infrastructure, they tend not to have very exposed people out there. Yeah, due to both the security aspects as well as the secrecy within the organizations. Um, depending on who's on the other side.
Yeah, that's yeah. Just actually that's true.
And if you're looking at, consulting companies obviously will always want to have the stars, because it brings, when all of a sudden a
Visibility.
star, like when all of a sudden a star, let's call it like that, or an influencer, um, start saying to the wall that, oh, well, now I work at this company. Obviously, by alignment to that, you will get more brand as the company due to that one employee or whatever how many employees you hire from that realm. So yeah, it depends a lot on who's on the other side, on one side, and the other side, and the other part of that is obviously regarding what you're saying, how you're saying, and how much you are presenting as a general concept versus how much you're saying um, something from your current job or former job, or yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you shouldn't share on yeah, on social media anything from your employer. So yeah, that's a big no-no. Just wanted to say that out loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question from the chat. How people not techies could actually verify talent they are gonna hire. Like, I think it's like when someone owns a company and wants to hire someone, and yeah, and it's not a recruitment agent.
Well, I think that the companies do it differently from one to another. Um, some companies might actually hire a person that is within the scope of the role to challenge you from a technical perspective. Other will be more basing their assessment of you on the reference check that they are doing, and they will most probably want to try to talk to speak with different previous managers, different previous colleagues to more or less get a yes or a no on what you're saying was right or false. Or well, not necessarily right or false as much as the truth or a lie. So, and then there are companies that will most probably go out there and try to use some sort of a platform. I have seen lately that some companies, at least within the offensive security realm and on entry level jobs, then they will check your try hack me or hack the box or whatever other public information that is out there on the activities that you're conducting in order for you to have the necessary skills for the role. Um, so it depends from company to company, and I would say in Denmark is very much trust based, and they believe you until you prove them wrong. In other companies and in other countries, I have seen that they do try to use different platforms to challenge you, or as I was saying, hack the box and try hack me. They will look into that.
But do you actually have to talk Danish to get a job in Denmark, or is English a popular language?
Definitely, English is a requirement overall, including if you are a Danish speaking person. Uh, there has been a movement in the past 3 to 5 years towards accepting more English speaking people within the cyber industry rather than having a clear no, no, you need to speak Danish. There are still some companies having that as a requirement. Either you speaking Danish on the way to start to speak Danish, or you will have to learn Danish in the shortest period of time, at least as at a conversational level. But I would say that because the more focus there is on cybersecurity, the more clear vision companies have towards their needs in terms of cybersecurity in company, and then the people that will work with that, and they realize that, oh, there are not enough people in Denmark doing that, or there is no one in Denmark doing that, or the people in Denmark doing that are Danish speaking are very much above our paycheck. So then they kind of start looking outside the language, and lately I have seen that they started looking outside the country as well.
Oh, good to know. Okay, I have another question from the chat. Do you recommend any specific beginner-friendly cyber side projects that would help persons stand out in the recruitment process?
Well, if you have a passion, just build a lab on that.
Yeah, actually, I saw there is someone answered in the chat, but yeah, actually,
Yeah.
start a blog or create a project on GitHub. Like start,
Yeah,
just
make
if
your own lab.
yeah, if you like it, then just start doing that and share it on internet so others can learn.
And to be honest, back in the days, it was hard to, um, especially as a newbie without a proper economy and so on. Obviously, it was hard for people to build labs and so on because it could get very expensive. But I would say that um, one of the things that I really love about the community is that we help each other a lot. So if you are in different general communities within the cyber industry, and all of a sudden you're saying, "Hey, I'm looking into building that, and I would need this type of firewall or this type of whatever device, or I don't know, things like that." There might be one person out there willing to either give it for free or for peanuts or a beer or whatever, and then you can, if we're talking like the hardware part of things. In terms of the software part, this community has been again great at building open source resources, um, and even like just, I think that if you look at the Black Hills website as well as that, just no, no, is it on the? I think that Black Hills also has it on the website, but for sure on their GitHub they have a lot of the tools that they created open source, among other
Yes.
things. Rita. Then the backdoors and breaches one, the game is online, so you can start playing that and training on that. And we have, Shodan is actually also very good at offering free or almost free lifetime subscriptions from time to time. You have Zeek, you have Suricata, there's so many open source tools that you can start using and training yourself in, that you can get a long way based on that.
Thank you. I was writing actually a comment in the chat about Backdoors and Breaches. It's an amazing game, and actually, I obtained a deck of cards on besides Krakow, and I was blown away because I didn't hear about it before, and I started
By the way,
looking.
they have the OT security one as well.
Good to know. Taking notes.
Yeah, that
So
one was made in. So they have an extension made with. Ah, guys, please don't kill me. I think it's Dragos. They made the extension for the OT security. They have an extension that they made with Huntress. They have the core version, and then the version 2 of the core cards. And I think there is one more, but yeah, yeah, I can't remember. But I know that there are a couple of extensions, one being OT security.
I think I have them on my desk, but they are under my laptop, so that would be a bit tricky to get to those cards.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say that I looked through the deck and I saw, like, when I was going through job interviews and answering questions, technical usually, that it's those cards are actually very good to prepare to interviews because there's like a question you have to think on it. So yeah, just a
Mm.
side note here. Okay, another question. What qualities do you believe a highly successful cybersecurity professional share?
Wow.
I think that's curiosity actually and willingness to learn, but yeah, I'm curious.
Passion, passion, curiosity, willingness to learn, but also share. Um, don't be a freeloader. Um, the kindness that it is in the community. It's not a cyber only, obviously, but I think that people are very kind to each other in this community, and a lot of the ones that I've met, they share those skills. Um, so definitely these are the ones that I've met. I wouldn't generalize, but in most of the cases of the people that I've been meeting throughout the time, that's what characterized them.
Uh, and my next question would be, yeah, what led you to specialize in recruiting for cybersecurity roles, and how has the field evolved since you started?
The need of specializing was definitely the starter. In order for us to be really really good at supporting both the people we speak with as well as our customers, we felt the need of being experts ourselves. um, so we started doing that. I actually took 2 3 months each courses, like evening school, 3 times a week, for 3 months. Yeah. um, at a local, well, in Denmark it's called professional school. So at a local professional school, I took those very basic courses, but it gave me the foundation that I could build upon afterwards. Um, so yeah, the need of specialization, I think, and just the interest of being very good at something. uh I think that's what characterized our team, and still does. In terms of how it evolved, wow, it's like when I first started, it's like, and I talked with people working in this industry for so many years, and I was asking them, like, so, like, what is exactly that you're doing, and how did you get there, and all these things. They started saying, oh, well, back in the days, and I'm like, it's not long ago, but it's still 7 years ago, and it feels like an eternity and I can't believe that I'm saying 7 8 years of doing this. But it has changed in the matter of cyber, going from being those people somewhere hidden in a basement, telling and blocking our whatever we want to do, and being the no sayers, to getting a place at the table in the majority of the companies out there, all the way to board level, being not only invited but as well as listened to. um Yeah, I think that those are the things that really evolved. And then obviously, as the technology evolves, the things evolve themselves within the cybersecurity. And then there is the whole compliance realm of legislations, either local legislations or European, USA, and industry based ones that have also started putting a pressure on companies having to deal with cybersecurity in a way, shape, of or form. Um, then the whole OT security realm also coming into it. So because when we started, it was a lot, like we didn't hear much about OT security, which is, again, I assume that I'm speaking with cyber people that know what it is, and I'm just going to try to explain that. Please excuse me for the mansplaining. OT security is operational technology, which actually means cybersecurity within production environments, within um, companies that have robots or platforms, PLCs, industrial systems in any
Yeah.
way, shape, or form. So that's OT, and it has been a thing since more or less security started, but there has been a larger focus now that everyone wants to be connected to their devices, as like their OT devices or systems out there, and all of a sudden going from being this maybe small computer in the middle of the desert that was only there, and the only way you could do something about it was to be physically there. Now that thing is connected to the internet, and all of a sudden they had to start thinking, oh, how do we protect that? So that started evolving at a faster pace than the security in general, I would say. um, but otherwise, I think that the biggest changes have been from a legislation perspective, as well as the focus and attention being given within organizations.
I'm blown away with your answer. Very, very good. Yeah. So yeah, amazing answer. Thank you. Uh, okay. And yeah, my next question is because the chat is a bit silent right now, so I'm going to follow with my list. So, what skills or certification are most in demand for ethical hackers today, like from your perspective?
Let's say it like that, that from a hiring perspective, companies are still considering the certified ethical hacker one, the CEH, as still being a thing. If there's an organization that has never had something to do with security internally, and then they're just building their capabilities, they will most probably require that. If you are joining a company that has cybersecurity capabilities, being proud that you have the certified ethical hacker certification might not be seen as the at the same level that you maybe expect. There, it the OSCP, so the Offensive Security Certified Professional one, and everything in that realm have a strong footprint now in the requirements from companies. Um, if not the certification, at least the course, because obviously it for at least for beginners, not even for beginners, but it's not a cheap one to take. So they at least want to see that you took the course. There has also been an increased focus on the, I think it's the e-learn security.
Okay, okay.
So yeah, it's e-learn security, and the certification itself, it's called EGPT, which is
Okay.
Junior Penetration Tester. Yeah, so that's more and more asked for. It's still pretty new, but yeah, kind of those.
Yeah, I have a follow-up question for the certified ethical hacker one because, like, I have experience from people in the industry laughing at that certification. That it's a joke, that it's considered because it's a test, and it's not indicatory of your skills, hands-on on the keyboard, and to hacking
Hmm.
anything. And so, were you talking about the test one, or there is another one that is hands-on, I think.
Yeah.
So, which one is popular? The test one, do you think?
Ah, think it depends. And yet again, it's like, are you talking with the community or are you talking to the hiring people?
Yeah, because
Because
hiring people
it's like
probably.
when you talk, as you were saying, I try to be diplomatic. So when you were saying that talking with the people in the industry, they might or might not make fun of you with the ch. uh, it's true,
Yes.
and many people ditch it very very badly. So yeah, I would say that the ones that are really taking you to through, let's call it fire, in order for you to actually obtain the certification, and is also asking you. So one thing is that you take the course, you take the exam, but in order for you to actually get the examination, the certification, you also need to show some hands-on experience afterwards. Those obviously are starting to get more in front of yeah, of the other ones.
I have a question from the chat, but I have a difficulty of pronouncing the name of that certification. I will start, but I heard from people working in Denmark in cyber that CASSP is desirable, like a desirable certification even for beginners. Is that true? But like in my opinion, if someone wants that certification from a beginner, then I think that person copy pasted it from somewhere else because it's for management level people and you have to have 5 years of experience to obtain that certification. So yeah, it's strange, but that's a question. uh the,
You are actually on point with that, because what I want to say there is that whenever you see that that they say the certification and not the course as a we would like you to have, that will be the first pointer for you to know that the people that created the job description or wrote about their needs are people that don't know cyber and what happens in the cyber industry. And if you really really want to work for that company, if you really really want that job, it's your responsibility to teach them and let them know what exactly that is and guide them towards understanding your skills and expertise.
yeah, actually that's a good idea that you should actually reverse the table into like explain them like yeah, it's impossible for me to have this certification because I have to have 5 years of experience and I have to have people endorsing me. And as a fresher in cyber, I don't know any people yet, so it's uh, it's ridiculous. But on the other side, I have this certification that
Mhm.
is hands-on and like shows my hacking skills. And for example, I did this box and this box on Hack the Box or Try Hack Me, and also that taught me, for example, Active Directory or no, Metasploit or like whatever else. So yeah, but actually very
Yeah.
similar attached to T TISSP, and I think a better one would be Security Plus from CompTIA because it
Oh
gives you
yes.
pretty much the same material, but actually prepares you to start like your first job in cyber. Yeah, in my opinion.
And I would say that because it starts becoming a requirement to a certain extent, there is no, you have a very decent excuse for not having the certification because it requires so many other things than just passing the exam. But you do not have an excuse for not taking the course, or at least try to study it.
Yeah.
It is out there. There are videos there. You, if you Google it, if you YouTube it, there is at least one person that has maybe at some point tried to um, archive their own path towards the CISP certification. or any other certification, to be honest. So we live in a time where most of the courses that are out there or certifications that are out there are somehow available freely on the internet. So you have no excuse to not at least have read or listened to video, watched and listened to videos, audios, and whatever.
Yeah, that's actually, you can write that I have the course, finished the course, and I have, yeah, certification from finishing the course. Actually, it was the first course that I took when I wanted to enter cyber, and just going through all of this and like learning a lot in the process, I thought, oh, maybe certification, and then I found out like, yeah, this is going to be impossible at this point. So, but it was like a very good course, and like I learned a lot. So yeah, actually, you have that was like a very good answer that you can. For example, I did all of the courses from CompTIA, but I only passed Security Plus because I thought that certification is going to be useful. So, but I
Mm.
did have the A Plus, Network Plus, and Pentest Plus because I needed the skills and like the knowledge. So yeah, that's a very good answer.
And I love the fact that you're mentioning that, because for my advice for many people that want to start in cybersecurity and don't know where, I usually tell them go through all the courses that CompTIA has to offer, starting with, I think it's A plus, and then networking, and then there's something for Linux as well, if I remember
Yes.
properly. And then you have the security plus, and then you actually also can, like, from there either go pen testing way or the other way. But everything, at least until security plus, will actually give you a proper foundation to build upon, regardless of what direction you will take afterwards.
Yeah, and actually wanted to add as well that I think the A plus, Network Plus, Security Plus is available on YouTube from Professor Mercer, and like that, that's the best course that I ever watched, and it's for free on YouTube. And I also watched ones that were paid, so that's the perfect one, a very short lesson. So I really recommend that one. Yeah. I have another question, but it's so long that yeah, I have to read it first. Yeah, I'm confused with, but I will going to ask it again. Maybe we can make sense of it. How do ethical hackers typically progress in their careers, and what opportunities lie beyond the role? So, if you start an ethical hacker, where can you progress from there?
Sky is the limit.
Yeah, you can be even like like
you
managerial level, right?
you One of the amazing things in cyber is that is it's such a versatile world. um and what I'm saying that is that regardless of regardless of your background, you can do cyber. Regardless of what you start in cyber, you can change. You can also continue on the same path for the rest of your life. You can get more seniority or leadership roles if at some point that will motivate you. But I don't think there is a place in cyber you can't be if you don't want it or are not motivated by it. So I know it's a very fluffy answer, but honestly, regardless of what you have as a background and what you start in security, you can choose to do whatever afterwards.
But actually, that's a very good answer, and maybe from like a comment from a different barrel. But sometimes I know that people. Uh, I got distracted because I just reached 220 followers, and I got like a big banner on the screen. Uh,
Yay! Congrats!
Yay! Okay, change the screen for a moment. Uh,
See,
Yay!
everyone is woohoo! Woohoo!
So I wanted to say that some people enter cyber because they think they will get a lot of money in a short time, and they're like being there are like some influencers saying that you can enter cyber and you're going to be rich and like you don't need to study like I don't know whatever they say, but I don't think it's a wise to enter an industry for money without liking the things that you're going to do first. So you're
Mm-hmm.
going to be in a lot of pain that way. So I think, yeah, don't do it that way. So just you have to like, you have to have a passion for it, and then the money will come. But first, you have to like it.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And to make a little bit of a side story here, and also because so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm also kind of trying to keep an eye with the chat and everything as well. But I also got a notification from my good friends and co-organizers in B-Sides saying, "Say about B-Sides, say about B-Sides." So I need to talk about B-Sides. And um regardless of where in the world you are, if you have the chance of participating in B-Sides events, the majority of them are actually free or for almost no money to enter. I know that ours in Copenhagen is pretty cheap because we are trying to keep it like that. We are actually trying to offer the community, both starters and as well as people that have been within the industry for many years, a play. Let's call it a safe place to have fun and chat. But if you find yourself looking to meet like-minded people, looking to meet mentors, looking to listen to great talks and inspirational talks that might actually shape you in thinking, oh, I want to know more about that. Let me go home and start studying. As well as well, last couple of years we actually did not organize any capture the flags or any side workshops and so on. We're reconsidering that, but I know that there are a lot of b-sides out there that are actually having small competitions of any sort. Get yourself involved, and moreover, b-sides
Mm.
are well, b-side as an organization is a non-profit organization, so another another way that you can make yourself seen good, at least in the community, is try to offer your help to either organize or be there on the day and support the organizer team to create a great event for the community. And that's a very easy and cheap win of respect within the industry. And if you help, you will be helped in return. So, guys out there, I know you have me on the big screen. I said B-sides, B-sides Copenhagen, B-sides, B-sides. I'm gonna go for my t-shirt and my hoodie if you want me to
I
do.
actually I have a besides t-shirt on me wearing it. I
Oh,
don't know.
nice.
It's besides Morial. I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly, but yeah.
Great. Now you make me feel bad that I don't have my B-sides merch. But okay, I'm going to. Do I have my cup? No,
Go,
I
go,
even
go.
have my cup. I even have my cup at the office, but I do have
Oh,
something. So just excuse me for one
sure,
second.
sure.
Look! I have my water bottle.
The
Yay!
water
The
bottle.
five. Yes, the 5 years anniversary one. We had 5 years in 2023, so that was the celebrative water bottle.
So yeah, I need to get one in 2 years from now, if my math is correct. Because
Yeah.
that's actually I wanted to go. Klaus was inviting me. I wanted to go, but then I got a job, and I did. Yeah, I was kind of broke at that point, so yeah, I thought, yeah, I cannot afford Copenhagen, but I'm going for sure next year. I'm going to submit my call for papers as well. Maybe I will
Yay!
get selected as a presenter because you have very cool merch, and I really love the logo, like with the boat, and yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and actually we changed so like our main logo is the boat, but we actually change the logo every year.
Oh, and I actually wanted to buy some goodies. I was going to do that now, actually, because I
Great,
saw you
do
have
that.
like a page with merch, and I can buy.
Yes,
Yeah, I don't have to actually wait for the conference.
no,
That's a great idea. Thank you for reminding me.
of course. And now I
Uh,
get extra points for the guys that were doing sales. Yay!
yeah, and now I have to say that because I wanted to ask another question, but actually wanted to say that my first B-side was in B-sides Krakow last year, and it was life-changing for me because I met Black Hills there, and they yeah, met the people, and they're like wonderful, wonderful people, very kind and very good-hearted, just like me. And I felt like, oh,
You
like I will,
belong.
I belong there, and like I found my people finally, and I felt so happy. And yeah, I actually wanted to say that I was super, I don't know, scared of public speaking, but then I pushed myself, like sent the call for papers, and besides is a perfect conference to go like have your first presentation on because the people are like very welcoming. They are there to learn. No one is criticizing you. There's like no, I don't know. It's not vendor heavy. There's no like posh situations there. So it's like very quiet, very homey. Everyone wants to learn, help you, be friends with you. I met a lot of amazing people there, showed them Polish food, and they like, I don't know, introduced me to their cuisines, and yeah, I connected with them on social media and communicators, and I have yeah. So I because it was like really a good memory, and so just wanted to say that if you are maybe just like me, like a bit introverted, do you want to be a public speaker as well? So, besides is a perfect one because it's like a very good environment to start. And then when you get braver, you can start bigger conferences, and then you do just perfectly. But yeah, if you are like scared of public speaking, start there. Okay, let's follow with the next question. Have remote and hybrid work trends changed how ethical hacking roles are performed or recruited?
It has evolved, definitely. If prior to Corona, most wanted you in the office, and it was a hard requirement, regardless of you were a web pen tester or you actually had to be physically doing some network pen testing and whatever, or the whole red teaming part where you obviously you have the social and red black teaming where you have the social engineering as well. um, it has been changed, moving more towards a lot of companies are doing a hybrid one, but also it depends also on the company itself. But I have also noticed that there are more and more remote only offerings. It's still for most, you still have to be within a country's borders. But you would definitely be, let's call it like that, allowed to work from home or remote.
Uh, Thank you. And my next question is, what challenges do you see in building more diverse cybersecurity teams? How can the industry overcome them?
Challenges in building diverse teams. Um,
I think it's more of a question different cultures, but maybe yeah, hiring
well,
more
that's
women.
actually that's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to like ask back. Is like, what is diversity here? Are we talking gender diversity? Are we talking diversity in terms of culture, age? experience, or what, but trying to general to take it from a general scope. I think that in terms of gender, a lot of the job descriptions and the job ads that are out there don't usually appeal to women. Also because we have this tendency of, if we do not check all the boxes, then we do not apply.
Yeah, that's sad. Yes.
And thus, even though the company would love to have diversity from a gender perspective, they are not able to have it since there are no women applying. And that can go, obviously that's a, I wouldn't guilt trip anyone, but I would, in lack of better words, I would say that it's the fault on both parts, both the ones that are making the job description as well as the women that can't seem to overcome that mentality of, I need to be perfect at everything before I can apply. um and that would be one. I think that there has been, going back to the evolution within cyber, I think that there has been an amazing evolution on how many um, women were in the cybersecurity realm when I started versus how many there are now. And I remember that one of the first times going to conferences, I had so much fun going to toilet because the men had like a long queue, and the women didn't. So we started. I don't want to take credit for that, but together with other women in the industry from let's call it back then, we started something. Within at least Denmark to inspire more women to join, and we were saying like, help us have a queue at the ladies toilet. So we started looking for ladies to help us queue at the toilet. And I would say that actually this year, last year at InfoSec Copenhagen, so version 2 infosecurity conference that is usually happening in May. It was the first time that I actually had to wait in line, so to go to toilet, and I had a blast again because I was like, yes, it's working. So I think that in terms of like diversity from a gender perspective, we're slowly getting there because now there is more interest from women to, and more understanding that cybersecurity is not only, techies in a basement with a hoodie drinking cola and eating pizza and hacking stuff. Cybersecurity is much more than that. Um, and in terms of other challenges, I think that there is still this problem, internal problem in companies not knowing exactly what they need. And obviously, if they can get a person or two being able to do everything or having an interest in helping in whatever way possible, then that will also create that gap of being diverse.
Actually, the comment like with the toilet. Actually, I've noticed that on the conference. Was it? I was in a conference called Confidence in Krakow,
Mm-hmm.
and first time I noticed that there is no queue in the toilet, and I was like, "What is happening?" Because I'm always standing in a line, and men are like coming and going, and yeah, and there was like no line there. But I just wanted to say that because my podcast was supposed to be also wholesomeness and like sharing nice things and encouragement. So I just wanted to say that. When I was a teenager, I was really shy and I wanted to go to study computer science, but I didn't believe in myself enough to do it because the society told me that this is for men. And then I was told that you have to be good at math, and then so I thought, okay, I'm not I'm not male. I'm not very good at math, so maybe I will go study economics. But years later, I actually went back to that idea and went to study computer science as a post-graduation studies and changed my career to actually do something that I actually wanted and not something that society told me that I should do or like, yeah, because I'm not good enough for
Mm.
the thing that I actually wanted. So what I actually wanted to say here is because I met a lot of women saying that, oh, I saw this job opportunity, but they want this, this, and this, and I don't have that, so they for sure will not hire me. So, but don't self-reject yourself. Send a CV anyway, and perhaps the hiring manager will give you a chance because most likely they're looking for a unicorn, that person that does not exist, or maybe does not exist in that country, like I don't know, in that city, and they will give you a chance and teach you that one thing or give you time so you can learn and you actually get that job. But don't self-reject yourself. Allow the recruitment agent to do it. Yeah, give you a chance or not, but yeah, don't say no. Yeah, apply and yeah, see what happens.
Yeah, and moreover, to be honest, if there is a phone number or if there is a an email address there, reach out. Reach out to those people and say, "Hey, I've been looking at this. It sounds like the dream job, or it sounds like a good opportunity for me. But I just, in order for me to not waste your time with having to read my application and actually writing to me back, I would like to hear how important are those and those lines within the job description, because I don't have experience with that. I might know it as at the user level, or I might have encountered it before, been looking into it, but I cannot say that I have experience. So how important is that? And would it make sense for me to actually send my application in, even though I do not, check all the boxes?
Yeah, that's actually great. So that's another thing that goes back to the something that you said before of being proactive actually. And yeah, I actually learned that the hard way as well. So no one gives you the job. No one like sees you are any different or like special if you don't tell them yourself and you don't stand
Mm,
like on the top of the building and start shouting, "Oh, I'm wonderful! Look at me now!" So that's what I actually wanted to do on my LinkedIn because I used to be like a very blend into like the background kind of a person, but then I put the red cape on myself and because I wanted to stand out. I was tired of being invisible and blending in, and I have a lot of yeah talents and skills that I wanted to highlight and maybe
mm,
yeah, so and also trying to encourage other women because I used to be shy and then gathers my courage and now I'm in cyber and like keynote speaker and like making my dreams come true. So I encourage other women to also like don't self-reject, don't self-sabotage. Just
mm-hmm,
be proactive, believe in yourself, and take the first step. Be yeah. So take your career in your own hands, and yeah, you can change your life. And like, don't wait for others to notice you. Go and like ask them questions. For example, my first article in a magazine was happened because I wrote a message to the publisher and asked, "Oh, I have this article. Would that be okay if I send it to you to read?" And she got like very interested with me, started asking me questions, started talking with me, and like I shared my story with her. And then after a while she picked me as one of the 40 under 40 in cyber, so that was like but it first started with me being proactive and like seeing like this magazine, seeing my friend on the cover and seeing and thinking, oh, I want to be like him, but how can she notice me if I don't reach out
mm,
to her first and like help her notice me? So yeah, that's what happened.
exactly.
uh, Okay, I'm a bit chatty, so I'm going to ask another question. So, what are the biggest challenges you face when trying to recruit ethical hackers?
Wow. But I don't think I felt I don't feel I faced challenges in the recruiting or I mean, yes, I do, but it's more on the part of the company that I represent maybe not having a name in the industry, or having a bad name in the industry, or um not being aligned to the market. I I do think that okay, funny enough, I do think that from all the people that I've been talking to from the cyber industry, ethical hackers are the pickiest ones in terms of where they want to go. And I
Yeah.
completely understand, because the realm of defensive security can be everything from small stuff to larger implementations, or we're talking, forensics, or more specialized within, let's say, forensics, incident response, and so on and so forth. But in terms of like uh, hacking, I think that a lot of the people out there working with that are picky, because whenever you do the same web pen test again and again and again, it kind of becomes tedious and there is no challenge in it. So you obviously want to join a company where there will be different assignments. um, some actually do love doing only web pen test or network pen test, let's say like that. And if the company on the other hand, if the company needs you to do also the extra ones that you actually don't are not passionate about, or don't do want to do it, and or you don't have expertise in, then you will also say no. So I actually, if I'm thinking well, I think it's not necessarily a challenge as such, but I think it's a fun thing that thinking about it, I do consider that the offensive security people I've met out there are more picky than any other expert or person working within cybersecurity.
Uh, th- th- Actually, from my side to add, uh, what I'm looking for actually is not the money. I'm looking for the good culture. So the culture where I could be can learn and can do certifications, and they also look in a favorable way in me going to conferences and being a speaker. So if there's like industry where I could grow like on my own terms in a way, and there are like projects that are interesting for me. For example, I'm not only going to do web pen testing, but there's a possibility of learning physical pen testing or red teaming, or maybe they also do cloud pen test. So not only web pen testing till the end of my life, but also other things that because I like to learn, so that would be good thing. But actually, the money is the last thing that I look at. So it's like the environment, the people, yeah, can I learn there? Like what can I learn there? And then the money has to, because yeah, I don't want to starve. But actually, yeah, that's a very good answer. And I yeah, I actually have a lot of questions for you, and you're like one of my favorite guests. And it's been a long streams so far, but I just want to have like maybe 10 more questions. So bear with me.
Okay.
And if anyone has any more questions, then you have the chance. But I will try to finish in the next 30
The next
minutes.
30 hours. Okay. I
No,
was
no,
not prepared
30
for
minutes.
that, but let's see how it goes, because it's the weekend now. So obviously, I do have 30 hours.
No, no, but yeah, 30 hours is yeah, that's like probably Police will knock to my door. It's like, I don't know, what are you doing here?
Well,
But
actually, if you look at the chat, someone said next 30 hours, let's go.
okay, so now I'm sweating a bit. So I didn't plan to. Okay, but let's continue. Uh, yeah, this one. What do you wish more candidates would include in their resumes or portfolios? Like, what are you like see through CVs, and what do you think it's missing there?
It's a hard question to answer, to be honest, and it's mostly because it's depending from case to case. I don't have a I don't have an answer as such to this question. Um, I would say that
It
I'm
depends.
very structured. Yeah, but no, but I'm very structured. So if we're talking about newbies, obviously there will not be much. And then I want to see what are they doing themselves to bring some knowledge in their life or some sort of hands-on experience in a way, shape, or form, it being technical or compliance, because I would say that the compliance people out there, or the people that want to work within compliance or have the, let's say, immediate skills to join a role within information security and compliance in general, they will say like, oh, you only spoke about that. So I'm going to try to give them also some things. There is a lot of legislation out there that it's public, that you can read, and then you can actually start, as I was telling you, write articles or blog posts or LinkedIn posts or whatever you feel like doing to show what you've understood from those frameworks, those laws, those standards, and what is your personal opinion about that, or what companies in general should do about that. So when it comes to juniors, regardless of what their interests are, I want to see both in the CV. I usually don't quite read like cover letters, but in the CV and whatever public space, social media they have, I want to see what they do um, to gain knowledge and to put themselves out there. When it comes to experienced people, I usually like this split in the CV that is saying, so obviously the first line for everyone is the job title and the company they're working in, and the years, months, dates of being a part of that company. I usually suggest people to also put like a very short line with very, very short, like small writing what that company does, like the core of that company. And then I'm looking into what were your main responsibilities? What were your actual tasks that you had to do, or what projects you had to be part of? And then, where applicable, I would also love to see results. And when I'm saying results, I'm not necessarily saying big things. Um, let's say like, oh well, I've implemented whatever endpoint solution on over 10,000 devices by doing this and that. It's even like smaller things like I managed to, um, even though I'm not an awareness person, I managed to increase the awareness on cybersecurity between or among users in a company from 50% to 60%. That's an achievement as well. And or I managed to get people more interested in what I'm doing. Small things like that. But I want you to force yourself into also thinking the small victories that you've had throughout the time, especially because, as you were saying at some point, many of the introverted people tend to think very negative, or they are not self-aware, or they don't know how to sell themselves. So by pushing them to write even the smallest achievement, it activates a part of their brain that they are not usually uh, willing, able, or capable of activating unless questions are being asked.
Uh, Actually, I have another. That's maybe a comment from a different barrel, but I also noticed that, yeah, being Polish, and maybe that has something with our, I don't know, community, like the way we are designed. I'm not sure, but Polish people like to complain, and also I've noticed that if you're doing something good, like in a correct way, you will not get praise. But if you do like a little mistake, you are in a lot of trouble. So, what I experienced so far, I didn't get any good comments, and I did a lot of bad comments. So, I've noticed that being getting like a good comment, like for example, I was learning ice skating and I know I wasn't very good at it, but my friend that was good at ice skating told me you're doing great, and gave me like pointers, but the overall comment was that I'm doing progress, and I'm doing great. So I've noticed that I'm praise motivated because I didn't get any in my life. And then I wanted to try harder and to make him, like to prove him right that I'm actually making progress and I'm doing great. So maybe that's another thing for, maybe that's for me, or like someone from the Polish, uh, being Polish person, but or introverted, I'm not sure, but I've noticed that just being nice to someone, that person can really grow faster than like being mean and like, critical. So, but I think that's very human, I guess. Uh,
Yeah, and to be honest, I think that it's like I think it's a general thing, not necessarily only Polish. I think it's a general thing that we as people tend to be more affected by the negative than the positive, as well as being we are also more inclined to look into the negative because many people say that that's how you grow. Obviously, learning from your mistakes, but when you are in a job interview, like in dating, you do need to say nice things about you. So by even by putting them in your CV makes you again activate that part of you that usually doesn't get activated very much because you either have you don't have the proper culture in the company for that, or you are unlucky to not have proper managers that are also good at saying that you're doing great. Plus, cybersecurity in general is a very hidden thing until something bad happens. So when you look in the whole organization, they don't know what cybersecurity is. They don't feel what cybersecurity is unless you activate multi-factor, and all of a sudden they need to go through 2 3 steps in order for them to reach out to their mails or do something, or a major incident happens and then all of a sudden everyone knows about cybersecurity. So I guess that it's a it's not a it's not a Polish thing only. It is
yeah.
it's in our nature for sure.
Thank you for your comment as well. So, yeah, yeah. I removed some questions, so I only will ask the good ones, I think. And this one you already partially answered, but maybe you have some more tips for that. But okay, the question is, what role does networking play in getting hired in cybersecurity? And do you have tips for breaking into exclusive communities?
Wow. In terms of like the exclusive communities, I think that, well, considering the fact that we're talking cybersecurity and everything is trust based, getting into exclusive communities definitely has to come from you being recommended by at least 2 different people, I would say. So at least 2 different people within that small group or community has to vouch for you. Or if it's a more let's call it alpha person within that community that says, hey, we should have this person around, or we should allow this person, then you definitely will get into into that closed, or exclusive, as you're calling it, community. um Another thing that has evolved a lot since I started, and where we are now, is that there are a lot of events out there, both online, and a lot of them are actually also in person. Many of them are free or cheap. So if you want to start slowly getting into the networking, and activate that, uh, and and challenge that introvert part of you that all of a sudden has to be, I'm sorry, with many people, then definitely try to look out of after events or places where it's open for everyone to join, and then slowly building your network from there. And in terms of how important that is to land your job, I think it's 99% of the cases, it's someone getting a job because someone knew someone that knew someone.
That's actually very good advice. And actually wanted to add on top of that that you reminded me that I actually got my first job from going to meetups in the Netherlands, in Amsterdam,
Mhm.
from the Meetup app, and I found that there is one for women, women in cybersecurity. The acronym was WICA, but I never know how to, yeah, what association. I don't know what the letters mean actually, like from top of my head. But the another one was Hack the Box, and I got my first job because on the Meetup for women they had one when they invited my ex-employer, and I started
Mhm.
asking questions. So by going to meetups and asking good questions, you can, like, yeah, if you can stand out in a way. So it ended for me with being invited to a job interview. So yeah, actually, like that's a very good yeah idea and answer. Thank you.
And to be honest, building a little bit on what you're saying, if you do not have the courage to ask questions in public, because you know for a fact that all the eyes will be on you, um, you can always reach out to that person and pull that person aside, because one of the reasons why those people are involved in the community events and the networking events is because they want to network. So you will not bother them, you will not you will not have to go above and beyond to reach out to that person. That person is there, so you can always just be very polite and ask that person on a side, and try to have a good conversation and a good dialogue, and then that person will have a face and a name, and most probably you will also exchange at least LinkedIn profiles, if not more contacts.
Yeah, maybe business cards as well. That's yeah, a very
Mm-hmm.
good advice. Okay, to not digress again, I will ask a next question. So, what kind of real-world scenarios do companies most frequently test during hiring processes for ethical hackers? Can you give a few examples, maybe?
Rewards, or sorry?
Real-world scenarios. So, if you are getting
Oh,
recruited for a ethical hacker position, do they give you like I don't know a page to pen test or a box from Hack the Box or yeah, what is the hands-on exercise?
I actually don't know, but it's again depending on the job. If it's a web pen test, then most probably they'll give you like a small assignment on in terms of that. Obviously, if it's an assumed breach, they will give you the credentials and see you in practice. Some people offer you the opportunity, like some people or some companies will give you the assignment at home, because they will also want to see beside the findings. They don't care so much about how much you find. They care if you do find something, and if you are able to document that something in a proper way and present it in a proper way. So the case will be like the whole thing. um, Find something, document it properly. um, and when I'm saying document it properly, don't assume what they want to see. Document it at the level that you think could be enough or is enough or you have experience with. Because you never want to start a job where the expectations, where you put your expectations on you very, very high, and then you get there and you realize that you are actually not capable of writing a report in a good way or in a useful way. So they want to see mostly how do you present yourself and your findings afterwards. Because they, when you'll be hired, they will trust you with your technical expertise, but they will need you to tell them what exactly is that you found and how is that affecting the company, and how, in the last part is how do we mitigate that. So most of the tests within ethical hacking are surrounded around your communication skills afterwards rather than the findings themselves.
Actually, you reminded me something very important that yeah, some people that enter the penetration testing, yeah, job, then I think they don't realize that they are like very focused on having the right skills and like being very technical and doing like what command is doing what and like what flags do I need to get like a certain effect. And but actually I think the most important skill for a penetration tester is writing a good report and being able to explain that report, your very technical jargon to business people because they have the money and they don't understand your jargon. So I think that's the important part. And like stepping into the job for the first time, a person does not realize that it's not only being, like putting the hoodie on and like hacking all the things, but
Mm.
also you have to spend a lot of time documenting it and like writing documentation. And yeah, yeah, fair point. Thank you.
And to be honest, because I'm seeing the some of the comments that came. So what I'm saying is mostly because I'm focusing on the juniors or the entry level. No one is expecting you. No one is expecting from you to know everything or find everything, because you do not have the right skills or experience of where to find. But obviously, if we move in the ladder and we're talking senior profiles, then you definitely, and I'm not saying the junior should not go above and beyond, but you also need to know how to limit yourself with the time that you have, and the scope that you have. But if you are a senior profile looking into changing jobs or getting a job and things like that, and you do get a case, then obviously they want you to show how senior you are by finding the more difficult stuff. um, if you, let's say, if you just find some cross scripting, sure, that can most probably be found by a junior as well. But like how, you know for seniors is like how deep in the company you can move, or in that case you can move until you can't no more or you're being caught. So it depends from a person to another, but by the end of the day, you still need to know how to present your findings in a way that the other people understand, and maybe even offer them proper advice of how to fix those problems.
Yeah, actually, like how I understand a senior role as well is if you can find things that a junior could find, but also can you change those like very simple to find things into a much bigger critical finding? Yeah. So if you, for example, find a deprecated, I don't know, Windows, or you can do cross-site scripting, but can you change it and like make a, I don't know, remote code execution or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and yeah, next question will be I'm wrapping up slowly, so just bear with me. Yeah, it's not
No
30
worries.
minutes. But, okay. How do companies approach hiring international ethical hackers, and what challenges arise with cross-border recruitment?
I think that LinkedIn is still the most used platforms in terms of that. Then most probably if companies have started looking international, then they will definitely start looking if you have been involved in any public presentations, or if you have anything, if you have anything public out there easy to be found on, let's say, Google, then most probably then they will like start to track you down in a way or another. Then Hacker One, and there was one more platform where any bug bounty platform. um it's not very well known by recruiters as such, but hiring managers would definitely start looking on any bug bounty platform, um any international CTF competitions about winners, and also try to track them down. um so there are different ways of approaching recruitment within the ethical hacking realm, internationally. In terms of like cross border, it's mostly from bureaucracy perspective. In most companies might actually need to have a legal entity in the country where the person is, or then they will try to like approach companies that they can hire people through, and things like that. A lot of the Danish companies do prefer you to relocate, to be honest, and then they will try as much as possible in helping you with that or getting you within the Danish borders, depending on the scope of the role and the company. There are also the can you be security cleared or not, background checks and all these things. So yeah, those would be some of the major things that I can think of immediately.
Okay, thank you for answering that question. And yeah, another question is, are there any emerging roles in cybersecurity other than ethical hackers? Should I'm going to start again. So, are there any emerging roles in cybersecurity that ethical hackers should keep on their radar? Like maybe the industry is changing and there are like new roles popping up that weren't there before, and yeah, maybe someone might be interested. I think that's how I would explain this question.
um I've seen that part also evolving. It's mostly from the part that large companies and enterprises start focusing more on having highly specialized people. So it's not necessarily new. It's more like, before it was, let's say like that, before it was governance, risk, compliance. Now you have governance, risk, compliance. uh, and Back in the days, you had the overall hacker. Now you either have different level of seniority, or you actually, you have offensive security people and red teamers, or people focusing only on assume breach, or things like that. Talking into forensics, for example, before they wanted someone that, and most still want someone to look at everything, but then there are companies wanting you to do only network forensics, or doing only malware analysis, and things like that. So I don't see much of new titles is more, becoming, let's call it subject matter experts within a field, or being getting yourself an expertise within a field.
Thank you. And my next question would be how the applicant tracking systems or AI are affecting the way the candidates are recruited and matched with roles, yeah, in today's job market.
Is the fact that they look at keywords, and if you don't have the keywords to a certain degree of, like, if they
Yes.
said, okay, we want, if if they taught the system or told the system that we want to see only the people that match 70% of our job, then obviously the system will look for for the keywords that it has been said, and if they don't find that at a 75% level, then everything underneath will be rejected, right? So the automation um, of recruitment in general, and especially in cybersecurity, is definitely a challenge, because on one side you have companies that either wish for unicorns or don't know what they wish for, and on the other side you have people that, well, obviously their job is not to write CVs, so most probably they don't have what the system would consider an appropriate CV, and sadly a lot of matches go lost within that, because there is a system saying you do not match 75%, even though you do match 74%, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, I actually experienced that I do feel like I'm skilled, and I thought I spent a lot of time on my CV, but I did get a lot of rejections from sending my CVs on LinkedIn and other job portals. So yeah, you're right there, and I think maybe the way is to, like, as you mentioned before, create a CV that is like universal in a way, that you can very easily change and like maybe add something like uh,
And keep in mind, there are no cyber people actually building building and training an AI platform, especially for cyber people. So the AI platforms are being made and developed by general people. So again, the AI is depending on what you feed. So if you don't feed what is relevant for the cyber industry, it will always, yeah, not be what you actually need.
yeah, that's a fair point. You actually answered that question already, but maybe you have something to add to that one. How do companies ensure they retain top ethical hacking talent in such a competitive market? You mentioned that you can look for them on bug bounty programs, like maybe top of the leaderboard, or maybe hack the box, like top of the leaderboard, god level, or whatever. But is there anything you want to add to that one?
But that's finding them and employing them. How you retain them, it's a whole different story. um People in cyber are passionate and hungry for knowledge.
Yes.
They also like challenges, because that's why they are working in cyber, because they want to solve problems. So give them, don't overwhelm them, but give them problems to solve, give them nice puzzles, challenges, keep them always, and listen if they come to you and say, hey, I've been doing network pen testing for 3 years now. Can I get into cloud, or can I get my hands a little bit more into that? um, if there are no those type of assignments internally in the company, then allow them to take time of their work schedule um to do it in their, to find places where they can do that. Also, education. You want them to have OSCP. Well, that needs also a lot of things, and CISSP and things like that. That needs a lot of um, after work in order for you to maintain those. So make sure you allow them to go to conferences. Make sure they have time in throughout the year for education in any way, shape, or form. It being online or in person, the more expensive one or the less expensive ones. If you do not have the money for the expensive ones, just let them know from the beginning. It's like, I would like to offer you a SANS course, but I do not have the money for that, and we will never get the budget for that. So let's see how we can, solve that part if there is any way of doing so. So please help me bring creative solutions for that. Or is there anything out there else that you want to do that is not offered by SANS, for example? So retaining is making sure that people are challenged in a good way, that if you feel like you want to push their limits and borders, do it in a structured and informed way together with them. um Make sure that if they want work life balance, they have work life balance. So more or less just be human and listen.
Yeah, like actually, I remember that one of my previous companies, I felt like I am just a piece of chess, like like a puzzle on a board, and I've been move around, and I didn't feel like I'm a human being. So what you just said is like very true. That yeah, just listen to your employee, and he will tell you what they want. So yeah, that's probably they just want to learn because that's what people go into cyber. Just they want to learn and grow. Like actually, what I can speak for myself, not for everyone, because some of them go for money, but people just want to learn and grow, and like just give them the
Mm.
opportunity, and I guess that's it. Uh, Thank you. That was like a very good and wise answer. Okay, I don't have any more recruitment questions. I run of the questions by now, but I have one more from cybersecurity. So, if there is one myth that you could debunk in cybersecurity, what would it be? That's a
Cyber is more than Mr. Robot, hoodies, the pita, the cola, and yeah. So definitely, cyber is more than that.
yeah. Actually, that's a fair point, and actually, uh, a lot of like women, I think, are a bit maybe not scared, but yeah, like they don't believe that they fit in into the industry, but absolutely there is like more than ethical hacker. There are all other jobs as well. I don't have them on top of my head to like list, but there's like a lot of women entering the field, and we need more. So I'm sure if you need any help with finding the right one, you can reach to me on LinkedIn, and I will send you some resources when you can, yeah, find out what you like actually. And but if you like a certain company, make sure to reach out to one of the hiring managers or employees and ask them about the culture, about like I don't know the projects, like if they can disclose that because sometimes they cannot. But just
Mm-hmm.
don't be afraid to ask questions, to reach out to people, be proactive, like believe in yourself, take your life into your own hands, and yeah,
Yeah.
create a nice CV, I guess, to make you stand out and like because some of people are like really maybe shy or like hesitant to put them in like the I think that's very true for women. I think because we on a job interview we will make ourselves a bit smaller than we actually are, and I think men make themselves like like much bigger and are very confident and yeah, so maybe start looking at yourself in like a more positive light, and yeah, not don't reject yourself. I think that's like the
Mm.
main message that I wanted to share here. Uh, yeah, I'm starting to finish up. I have three more questions, but is there anything that you wanted to add from the recruitment, like yeah, industry or like from your job?
No, it's just that um I guess that actually one of the other myths is more related to the fact that others see people working in security as prima donnas, or the people saying no all the time. That's another myth, but it's also something that does happen to a certain extent. So as I was actually telling you, and it wasn't for you, it wasn't necessarily because you were saying no, but to give yourself time to think. Just say, let me think about it, or let me come back to you on this thing. So definitely, that's another myth-ish that we can we can make it go away, by looking and being more approachable.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, to wrap up, I have few questions that don't really ask about cyber, more about you. So, what was your biggest mistake and what did you learn from it? But if you don't want to answer that one, you don't have to. And the follow-up would be, what would be your, what do you think was your biggest win in life?
um My biggest mistake. Oh God, I make mistakes all the time, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this out loud on something that is live and recorded. My biggest one. I don't think I'd reached the highest level of how much I can, excuse me, f up. So I don't know, but I think that one thing that maybe many people will also find themselves in is that I assume a lot on behalf of other people, and don't give them the chance to actually tell me what they think. So I think what they think, and then that spiral goes, and then the anxiety hits, and then I hurt myself. So I think that one of the biggest mistakes that I'm still doing, I mean, I'm learning, but I'm still doing, is assuming. And the biggest win, I think that my personal biggest win definitely is the fact that I got accepted by the community. I feel accepted, I feel respected, and I feel, um I can go all the way to say I feel loved by the community. So that's a, at least from a professional point of view, that's a big achievement for me.
Yeah,
The smaller ones are helping people change the way that they, um look at the industry, or the recruitment in general, and as well as every single person out there that in a way or another I helped get the ideal job at that moment for them. Though those are big wins.
yeah, actually, like I wanted to comment that when I was talking with you, I was also connected with a different headhunter from Denmark, and I liked your approach to me more than him because I've noticed that he is looking at me. How much money can I make from her? Like he looked at me as an I don't know, asset maybe, like. Not a human being, but you looked at me as a friend and like a a person. So I really like that from you, and I do when I meet someone, I do sense because I'm an empath as well, so do sense the vibe, overall vibe
Mhm.
of what the person is thinking about me. Do I feel judged or like is it like anything negative? Because I'm also like very suspicious of. I think that's very human and like something like also Brian Harris mentioned on one of his training that if you are being approached on a person, he thinks three things like how much time will that take, what does he want from me, and does I think the third one was is that person trying to hurt me in such a way. So
Mhm.
I think the third one is like a very like permanent with me with all my previous experiences and like my first job. I was mobbed and like my manager wasn't a nice person. Yeah, so I really liked the way how you approached me, and I think that's for other people that yeah, that's why you're being loved. And I actually wanted to say that I really love that for you, that you're being accepted and like very successful, and you have your own company, and yeah, you're like the person I was, that how you were introduced to me, that you're the go-to person in Copenhagen to like find a job. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say now. And I have two more
Thank you.
questions. You're welcome. I have two more questions. So, what is your favorite hacker movie? And at the end, what is your favorite food? Like you can answer whichever you want. Like
Let's start with the food. Um, I'm a foodie. I
yeah,
know that I don't look like one, but I love good food in general. And as long as it has nothing to do with broccoli, licorice, um, that's the two major ones, then I might be willing to try. But someone did ask me once if I would be on the death row, what will be my last meal? And I definitely, without thinking 1 second, I said fries. So, fries, chips, everything that has to do with salty potatoes, them being normal potatoes, sweet potatoes, doesn't quite matter. Just fries. But yet again, I'm coming from a potato land, so that shouldn't come as a surprise.
yeah, actually,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, so definitely fries. And I don't share them. So whenever I do end up sharing them, my friends know that if I do end up sharing my fries with them, that's like the biggest love declaration that I will be always able to offer them. Uh, and in terms of my favorite hacker movie, I don't think I have one, to be honest. I think like everyone else, I loved Mr. Robot because it was somehow closest to reality. Because I I I can tell you, like, all those hacker movies where people are doing on the keyboard, that's like Jim Carrey doing that is not hacking. Like, no hacker is doing that. So if you watch a movie like that, watch it for fun, but don't put more into it. So I think that Mr. Robot was, yeah, closer to reality. And recently I rewatched because someone nice on LinkedIn actually posted about that. Spycraft. I wouldn't call it a hacker movie as such, but it has a lot to do. It still has a lot to do with this world in a way or another.
yes, yeah. Actually,
So so yeah, yeah.
yeah, I saw that post, and actually I watched that for the first time, and I really like that TV show. Yes.
Mm. I watched it. I watched it on Netflix when it came in. I think it was 2021. But yeah, like after the LinkedIn post, I rewatched it and I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, so for the food, when you said you're a foodie, there was like a very enthusiastic reaction on the chat, and yeah, you're loved by two more people, I think, now because
Why? What? Oh God, I got out of the chat because
foodie.
I'm thinking like we're closing down, and now it's like, oh no.
Yeah, and so yeah, I think potatoes are like my current obsession food. Before it was ramen, so now I'm making potato pancakes and cooking potatoes and like all kinds of way, like drowning them in butter. So I think like a very comfort food for winter for me. And I come also from a region that has like 101 recipes for potato dishes, and oh my God, that is so good. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, there is like a stamp of approval from me for loving potatoes, and fries is the perfect answer. So, okay, so I wanted to thank you for coming to my stream and like being super patient with my questions and lasting that long. Yeah, thank you very much. And if you have anything to add at the end, now is your moment. Yeah.
I just think that like what I want to add is the fact that you need to dare. Don't be afraid of asking for help, of reaching out or asking questions, sharing your ideas. You will always find at least one person in this world that will be kind enough to answer back, or be helpful or mentor you or whatever. Don't expect things to come your way. Make your own path.
I read somewhere a very smart sentence that you are architect of your own life, and that's
Mhm.
very true because by your ways of doing things, but by the things that you spend your time on, by the things that you feed your brain with, like do you spend a lot of time on Instagram by scrolling, I don't know, reels mindlessly, or do you do courses? Are you trying to better yourself every day? Because you wake up in the morning and then you can change your life. So every day is a perfect day to change something. So yeah, what?
And be open for change.
Yeah,
Be open for change and constructive criticism.
yes. So yeah, thank you again for coming, and yeah, I will not
My
keep you
pleasure.
any longer here. Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye.